Aries, this is going to be your September reading for 2018. I'm going to start shuffling now. I tried to do this in the house, but I just felt cooped up and it felt really dark in there and really had a need to be outside. Okay. This is in Aries' best, highest good for September 2018. For Aries, rising sun and moon sign, along with whatever they most need to hear about. Hope you don't mind me being quiet. I just want to focus on the cards for a moment. I'm sure you won't mind. A few blocks away, there's streets being put in with lots of construction machines and everything. So if you hear noises from the background, that's what that is. This is one of the quietest spots near my home that I love to go to. So shouldn't have any interruptions here, I'm hoping. Aries, rising sun and moon sign for September 2018, and their best, highest good, along with whatever they most need to hear about. I hope you guys are well. I actually tried to do your reading yesterday, and I tried to do it outside at a park, but I got all these really difficult, a lot of difficult cards, practically every difficult card you could think of in the deck, and on top of that, I had a lot of people walking around behind me, and too much stuff going on, so I actually ended up having to erase the entire thing. Hopefully this will not come out like that one. I want to give you clear messages. Okay. Okay, Aries. Just give me a moment. That tree behind me is one of my favorite trees here. Sometimes I hide crystals in that hole, but I didn't bring anything. Maybe I'll put some sage in it after I'm done with you. Alright. I'm going to do an 11 card Celtic cross spread for you, and I'll show you all 11 cards after I pick them. I may pick clarifiers, it just depends on what comes out. Here we go. One more shuffle. Almost done. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you the original cards, and then I'm definitely going to be picking clarifiers for you. Hopefully this will make sense to you. You have a lot of wands for September. Okay. Your central experience for the month of September is one of your court, or is your court card. This is an Aries card, the Queen of Wands. Your challenge to that, or your countering experience, which this most definitely is the Five of Wands. What is helping you is the Knight of Wands. See what I mean about an excess of wands? This is a lot of fire, you guys. At your core, the Two of Swords. I'm definitely going to be picking some clarifiers for this. This tried to come out 3 times, and then finally I just accepted it. In your recent past, you have the Five of Swords. As your best possible outcome, you have death. And I will definitely be picking a clarifier to go with that. In the near future, you have the Chariot. You right now are the Moon. In your surroundings is the Ace of Wands, another Wands. Your hopes are for the Queen of Pentacles. And these two flipped out together. As your general outcome, you have the Nine of Swords and the Star. So, okay. Your central experience for the month of September is the Queen of Wands. So this is great. This is excellent. This says that you are fully in your own capacity and full power this month. You are fully standing in your power and doing what you do best. You know, the Queen of Wands can also be another person in your life as well, in which case, if this is a person in your life, this is someone very much like yourself. You share a lot of things in common. They're a lot like you. This may be a role that you have to take for this month in September, is to really act on your Aries powers, which are leadership, knowing what she wants, knowing how to go after what she wants or get what she wants. It's all about honoring yourself, honoring yourself, being fully yourself and not holding back in any way. So I'm going to leave that be. I'm going to keep on going to see if anything else comes out on that one. It's always been interesting to me that the cardinal signs are the queens. Generally, when I look at the Queen and the King of Wands, the King of Wands is Leo, by the way. I find it really interesting that Aries is a queen in the tarot, because Aries is the typical masculine side of everyone. Everyone's got Mars in their chart someplace, and that represents your animus, or your male part of your being that is all about action, moving forward, going after goals, knowing what you want. I find it really interesting that it's a queen in most decks, just because the queens I tend to think of as being softer. But she, in a way, she's almost more hardcore than the King of Wands. She's very much about getting things done and all about stepping into her fiery capacities and abilities and passions. Okay, so What is hindering you is the Five of Wands, which is petty ego battles and conflict. This can be situations involving groups of people. Sometimes this can be between yourself and one other person. When I look at this, I always think of groups, though, where there's a lot of bickering, there's a lot of competition, competitive vibrations there. People trying to top each other or prove that they are the ones that are supposed to be the leaders in the situation. This doesn't do anything but cause problems most of the time when you're trying to get things done. Sometimes this is healthy competition. Like, obviously, if you're an athlete, you're going to be involved with competitions. I think of things like the Olympics or gymnastics competitions, even sports, things like that. In which case, it's about needing that opposition in order to prove your physical strength or to prove what you're really capable of. Sometimes we don't really know what we're capable of until we're up against something that is blocking us or competing with us. So sometimes, for me right now, I'm not getting anything extremely negative from this. I'm not getting fighting to the point of being mean or competition with no purpose. Competition with no purpose. A lot of times I read this as competition with no purpose, where there's nothing really being accomplished here. But for now, I'm kind of getting the feeling that this is healthy competition in order for you to yet again prove to yourself what you're actually really capable of. And keep in mind, your central experience for this month is leadership or coming into your own abilities. So it could just be you're taking on the role of kind of being the grandfather warrior or the elder warrior that steps in among the young bucks that are arguing amongst themselves to tell them to cool it. You have that in you to be able to do that in a friendly, in a friendly way that makes people respect you. So when I look at where you're at now, this is where you're at. And can't you just imagine her? I mean, obviously you can be a man too, and this isn't just about female Arians, but kind of imagine these young bucks fighting amongst themselves, competing with each other, trying to prove who's the top boss, and meanwhile the queen steps in and says, hey, knock it off. I'm the one in charge here. Now let's work together here. Or, yeah, something like that. So what's challenging you at this time? I'm not really getting that it's a huge challenge. If anything, it kind of feels like an exciting, healthy challenge that enables you to step more fully into your capacities to lead or to knock off any ridiculous behavior from young warriors that don't know what they're doing. So what is helping you is the Knight of Wands, which is seeking the truth. This is a Sagittarian night. This is about seeking the truth, perhaps wanting something different than what you've got. Perhaps wanting to step away from any petty conflict and just do your own thing for a while, or seek some answers that you need. You may be thinking about traveling, or this may be a night that you encounter this month that's helping you as well. Seeing things in a new way, seeing new horizons open up to you, seeing new possibilities open up to you. It's like you could stay around and be the leader in the situation and tell all the young bucks to cool it, or you could just go have fun and skip all that altogether. It could be more conducive to using your leadership ability instead of having to deal with difficult people that are kind of being silly, to instead seeking what truly matters to you and what you truly want to be doing with yourself at this time. What is helping you could be possibly going to school or taking classes or learning something new. It can be wanting to go on an adventure or go travel someplace. It could be, I'm getting something in here about going not on a retreat, but on some kind of conference, traveling for a conference or traveling for some kind of knowledge. A gathering where people are working together instead of against each other. I'm kind of getting that what is helping you is to seek other options or seek other ways of looking at things so you can bring it back to the situation and perhaps bring some golden nuggets of wisdom to this situation. If not, let go of it altogether. So that's what's helping you. Also, if there's any Sagittarian, Jupiterian people in your life that are very optimistic, adventurous, freedom-loving, free-spirited people, they're a very good influence on you in this month. I can almost see you being visited by a dear Jupiterian friend who's like, you know what, you need to get away from the situation for a little bit. Let's go on an adventure together. Let's go do something to get you away from this stupid situation that you feel you have to monitor all the time. Okay? At your core, you have the Two of Swords, which is all about indecision and not knowing what to choose. Let me pick a clarifier to go with that. Okay. So your clarifier to go with the Two of Swords here. From what I'm getting, from what we've seen so far, it feels like you feel as though you have to monitor something, otherwise it would fall apart the minute you walk away, because people aren't working together as much as they should, or people are having petty squabbles or differences between them. You kind of feel like you have to stick around in order to make sure that things are okay, or that these people knock it off. It's almost like they're young. The analogy is they're young, naughty children that need their mommy around to keep them in line. But I'm kind of getting the feeling that you're over this role and you don't necessarily want this role anymore. You'd rather use your energies towards much more creative things in your life than monitoring schmucks. And so you feel torn. It's like I'm kind of getting that saying in my head of, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. But it feels like it's limiting you and it's keeping you from being able to see what's really available to you at this time, because you feel like you're needed in order to set things straight constantly, to the point of feeling as though you can't really do anything else. You're kind of torn by this. Part of you really likes this role of, maintaining some semblance of order within chaos, but I feel like it's taking a lot of your energy away, and you would much rather go towards something else that is much more creative and where people just naturally work together, where you can actually get other things done in your life. But you're torn by this. You're wondering if you do walk away or do something else, that situation will fall apart, or it will become so full of conflict that it ruins the whole thing, whatever this is. If this is a job, if this is a home family situation with family members, or work, or some project you're trying to lead or do. So you feel torn. You feel like you're responsible and you need to stick around to make sure that people are not bickering so much, but at the same time it's taking your own energy away, and you're afraid to walk away because then it might fall apart. What I'm getting here is that you need to make a major decision about this to see Lady Justice herself come in and settle this matter. I feel like if you if you need to walk away, if it's going to fall apart the moment you walk away, it's probably nothing that you really want to be a part of anyway. And so you may need to let the universe handle this. You may need to decide to let this be, or you may want to bring in somebody else to help you with settling differences here. You may want to go to an authority figure, whether it's a counselor or an advisor or somebody who has clout in what they say that could possibly address things for you while you step away. I don't know if that makes any sense. But there's definitely justice and fairness that's needed in this matter. I feel like too much of your energy is being taken away by the situation, whatever it is. Like I said, it doesn't feel totally awful or horrible. It just isn't necessarily how you really want to be using your energy at this time, is having to deal with stupid shenanigans or having to be the person to keep people in line all the time. You may want someone else to step in who's much more Libran, or is able to talk things out with people, or lay down some laws or rules. That way, if the rules are broken or the laws are broken, then something can actually, you may have to cut some people out if they're really that disrespectful. But I'm almost getting the feeling that all they need is some rules in place, and then they'll settle down if they want to stay in the situation. Something like that. So there was another clarifier, which I got a really clear message here that you're supposed to walk away for a little bit instead of having to take that role of making the young bucks cool down. So if you actually let someone else handle the rules or lay some rules down in place so that you can walk away, I actually see this as being extremely good for you. I feel like there's a million other things you could be doing with your time and energy at this time than having to deal with petty conflict. Like realizing how fortunate you really are, and how to focus on the people that actually really matter to you. You know, I'm kind of getting that there's something that you're trying to lead or do. You're having to deal with difficult, childish people in a certain regard, and this may be taking your energy away from the people that actually really matter to you, like your family or your children or your spouse or your significant other, or the things that you actually really want to nurture in your life. I feel like what you truly want is a sense of community and people working together, where beautiful things are able to come into being more from people being on the same page or wanting the same things, or simply just being respectful of each other and working together. I feel like that's really truly what you want, and then you can use all of your great passion and energy towards cultivating this instead of that situation. So I would definitely say you need to settle some things, come up with some rules or laws, or have someone help you with that, and then walk away so that you can cultivate the things that truly matter to you. So in the recent past, you have the Five of Swords, which is a difficult person that is extremely cruel, selfish, not a team player, someone who wants to prove their own dominance to the point of hurting other people. This can be smaller things, more specific things like sarcasm, constant negative thoughts, or someone who's just angry. You know those people when you're at the post office or something and there's somebody there that has to cause a giant scene and get really rude with the employees? It's not because they actually hate the employees themselves. It's because they're just angry people. They're just angry about something, and it gets taken out on everyone around them. So something to do with this has been going on in your recent past. I'm really hoping you haven't been taking this role. No judgment here. If you have slipped into this role where you've been more cruel than usual with your words, or more sarcastic than usual, or you've been focusing on your own power to the detriment of other people, this may be one reason on why you're having to deal with this conflict now, is now people have a negative opinion of you, and now you have to prove who you actually really are to people in a good way. Otherwise, you could end up with things being said about you. This could affect a lot of things. If this isn't you, and this is an energy that you've been having to deal with from other people or another around you, at least this is in your recent past. And I don't, this tried to come out 3 different times in your reading, but the 3rd time it showed up, I finally accepted it. So, yeah, if you're still having to deal with conflict, at least the conflict has settled down where now it's just petty instead of cruel anymore. Perhaps you already weeded someone out. Perhaps there was somebody involved in this thing that involves other people, whether it's a project or work or something that you're trying to manifest with other people. This could even be between friends. You already weeded this out. Feels like you had to step it up a notch, become the Queen of Wands, become fully in your Aries power, and tell this guy to just go away. In which case, now you're having to deal with the aftermath of everyone bickering afterwards, or having their various different opinions on what went down. Something like that. So, as your best possible outcome, you have death, which is a total release of something that you have outgrown or something that needs to pass away in order for you to be able to move forward. So let me pull a clarifier to go with that. For somebody watching or a group of people watching, this has to do with your job. If this applies to you, you already know this. So, what needs to pass away in your life and what you need to let go of so that you can move on is the current existing job situation you've got going on now. It feels like not only have you been having to possibly deal with difficult people or people being unnecessarily sarcastic or cruel or selfish at work in the past. At least that seems like it's over with now, but you're still having to deal with people bickering, people not working together, people not being on the same page. But not only that, it just feels like you're having to do a lot because you have to deal with these difficult people that if they would just work together, they would get a lot more done where you wouldn't have so much on your plate. It feels like there's some weird dynamics going on with your career job situation where other people are not pulling in enough of their own weight in the situation, and so you feel like you're doubled over with extra work because of this. Either that, or you've just decided at this point to ignore it and just focus on what needs to be done. And so you've been plugging away patiently, you've been trying to manifest and get things done. It just feels like because of this conflict around you, people aren't working with you, and you feel like you're doing this mainly on your own or by yourself while you have to deal with other people's stupid, petty ego battles around you when they should be working. Or you've just decided it's either if you absolutely have to stick with this, or if you're the boss of this and this is your situation and these are the people that work under you, you may need to fire people. If that's the case, you definitely need to let go of some people at work if you're the boss and hire some new people that are much more able to work together and to get things done together. That's truly what you want with that 10 of Cups. Or if you can let go of this and this is just a regular job that you've got going on, You definitely want to start your own thing. This is the other clarifier for death. There's something about this. It feels like you're expending too much with too little in return for what you're doing, and you're having to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, be patient, constantly keep your nose to the grindstone type of thing, which is fine, except I'm getting that you really would much rather be doing something more creative with your energy that's more exciting, in which case you may want to start something completely new. Or start over, or start something new that is more your own thing, or bring new people into the situation. If this doesn't have to do with work, which I am getting a clear message it does, but if some of you watching this does apply, but it's not in the work area, it could be with home, where there's conflict at home, people aren't getting along, and so you've been dealing with that by burying yourself in other things or in projects or work to get away from that energy rather than engaging in it, which still makes you seem lonely to me, where you're still not really getting what you need, in which case you may need to lay down some rules and a new way in the situation so that people can work better together. I'm almost getting something in here about needing to send people away to go on a vacation on their own to get them out of the house, or sending them out to go do their own thing too, so you have some space. Something like that. But in any case, the old way of doing this is not working anymore, and so you need a new way. That's your best possible outcome. So, I feel like you've been so patient for Aries people. You really have. And I feel like you've been doing a lot to refrain from losing it or engaging in this situation. I see you as taking a real adult role in this, which is really nice to see. Whatever that was in the past, if that was you acting inappropriately, at least you've stopped that now and you're taking a much more mature approach to this. And if there was something going on with someone else being difficult, you got rid of them. So, in the near future, I see you as traveling, perhaps getting away to learn some new things, or just to get away and get a different perspective. But also in the near future, you're thinking about your goals. You're thinking about, okay, what is it that I truly want? What is it that I would like to go towards? What is it that I would like to achieve? And if what you've got going on now does not fulfill that, or doesn't resemble this vision of yours at all, it's definitely time to utilize death and let that go so that you can move forward in a new direction. And this is really trusting your own perceptions and your own gut feelings about things, trusting your intuition, and focusing on, again, what truly matters to you and what you really want to be putting your energy into, so that you can clearly decide where you're going and how to proceed and what your strategy is in the future. I am getting something in here about you may need a temporary break to get away for a little bit to get a change in perspective. So, right now, you are the moon, which it appears to me like you are emotionally invested in this confusing situation involving conflict with other people. It may not be that easy to let go of. This may be definitely related to family, either family members like a spouse, your own children, or even your mom or your parents, or just important people in your family. I'm kind of getting the feeling that you want to take care of these people, or these people expect you to take care of them, when perhaps they need to focus more on taking care of themselves. And You may need some mothering. I feel like perhaps you've been being the strong person in this situation, kind of holding the fort down or just doing what needs to be done while there's chaos around you. But it feels like you need some nurturing. You need to be mothered a little bit this month. So if you do have someone who is Cancerian or moon ruled in your life that's just a natural nurturer, you may want to reach out and say that you need a little help. You may need to speak about this with someone who is compassionate, who would be able to give you a listening ear or some good advice, or simply just to be there for you. You may need to take care of yourself more, rest more. I'm definitely getting you need a little bit more sleep. You need some inner peace. It feels like you feel very confused by the situation because you feel responsible for the people involved. Or you feel like they're not necessarily in a position to take care of themselves and they need somebody to take care of them, but you can't. You could continue to do this. You have plenty of energy to do that, but I feel like there are other things calling to you. You need more balance in your life where you're not spending so much of your energy on other people. You're also spending it on yourself too, and to attract other people in your life who are also willing to give to you as well as to take from you. Even if it's just emotional energy, it feels like you've been drained to a certain degree by this. But in any case, I'm definitely getting you need more rest. You need some time out in order to get clear about things, or just simply to just take care of yourself and relax. Try not to do too much this month. Otherwise, you could end up getting slammed after this month with all of the stuff that you should have dealt with that's emotional, that you've repressed. I'm going to pick a clarifier to go with that. Yeah. This is either family or friends. I'm definitely getting friends in here. Maybe you need some time out from friendships for a little bit. Perhaps they've gotten too emotional or too close, or just too confusing. There may be some competition with friendships. Getting anything in here about? Yeah. You may need a break from your friendships or from socializing for a little bit just to get some clarity. You may need to let go of some friendships that turn out not to be friendships the way that you thought. There may be some gossip or backbiting or just competition involved in this that you really don't want to have any part of anyway. And that's not really the definition of what friends are supposed to be. And focus on the people in your life that really matter, instead of spending your energy on the people that don't matter or that shouldn't matter. So perhaps you've been socializing a little too much. It's almost like you're distracting yourself from something that's boiling, or not boiling, something that's rising up to your surface that's very long-standing and emotional and vulnerable in a certain way. Perhaps there are some old fears or insecurities or old things coming back that make you feel not sure of yourself, and you're distracting yourself by partying instead or doing too many external things. If you're doing that as a way to distract yourself, it's eventually going to catch up to you. So make sure that you take the time to be forgiving of yourself, or just to take care of yourself and have some quiet time and to get enough sleep. So in your surroundings, you have the Ace of Wands, which is a brand new beginning and a new course of action. This is a new path you want to get started on. This is the Just Do It card, by the way. This card's message is literally that, just do it. So in your position of your surroundings, I'm definitely getting you either want to move to a new location, or you want to go on a trip to a different environment temporarily, or you may want to start a completely new path in your life that completely changes your surroundings. And your surroundings doesn't have to be your physical surroundings, as in the land that you live on or the house that you live in. This can be just what you surround yourself with, as in the people that surround you, the situations that surround you. You're kind of done with the old surroundings. You want a new surroundings around yourself. You either want new energy around you, new people around you, new situations that feels like it's going someplace instead of remaining on a loop with conflict or confusion. So this looks very good. Any kind of travels or new things that you can begin in your life as your surroundings can only bring new things. I'm almost getting something in here about having a new fun routine, like taking, dancing more often, or taking a jog early in the morning, or just doing something that kind of gets you out of that headspace or gets you out of that situation. That doesn't necessarily have to do with just plugging along, but doing something exciting and fun. Okay. Your hopes is the Queen of Pentacles. This is a Capricorn court card. She's the queen of abundance. She's the queen of money. She's the queen of feeling comfortable in her own skin and with her surroundings. Look at what she's surrounded by. She's surrounded by beautiful plants, animals, nature. She feels totally at ease, totally comfortable in her own skin, totally provided for emotionally and physically. She looks completely satisfied. This is what you're hoping for. You want your surroundings to cultivate you, not just you cultivate your surroundings, but your surroundings to support you and to create abundance and growth in your life, to feel completely comfortable in your own skin. I'm also, this is completely random, but I am also getting something in here about potential friends that are all interested in the same person or have a crush on the same person. There might be somebody or a few people watching this that this is dead on for. And the person that you're all fighting for or having a conflict about is a very down-to-earth, solid, patient, calm, creative person. This person may not even be aware of what's going on. As far as conflict involving who will win this person or who will get the attention of this person or something. But I want to let you know, taking the approach of just standing in your own power and being yourself and not engaging in all of that stuff would, if this person was going to choose somebody, they would choose someone that was down to earth and dependable. They would choose somebody who seems mature. So being mature is the best thing you could do in getting this person if you're interested in this person. This obviously can be a man or a woman, but it's somebody who may be quite quiet, or there's hidden depths to this person. This is what they show on the outside, but they definitely feel like they're watching. They may pretend to not be aware of what's going on, but they are aware of it, and they're waiting patiently to see what happens, or to see what true colors people eventually show in the situation. So keep your cool and don't let this conflict get to you. Let it roll off you and just be yourself. It's that age-old mom wisdom of just be yourself. If the person's meant to be with you, they'll be with you. If you show who you truly are, they either love you or they don't, or they want you or they don't. I'm also getting another specific thing in here about there may be someone watching who's a mom or a parent who has multiple children, and you're having a hard time with your children. Your children may be jealous of your attention. or they may want more of your attention, or they may be fighting with each other over your attention. So I'm getting something specific, if that's the case, where you need to get your kids out of the house and involved in something creative, whether it's sports or some kind of physical activity, whether it's hiking or being out in nature or just doing something constructive together that has your children all work together and where you're shining your love on all of them. That is the best way to handle that situation, rather than feeling as though you have to constantly discipline your children or constantly keep them in line. I feel like you need to take a more creative, organic approach to this that has more to do with warmth and softness with that leadership. So this is your hope in any case. And your general outcome, these two flew out together. The star is all about faith, hope, and optimism, and simplifying and focusing on the things that truly matter. I'm definitely getting something really strongly about that in here, about how you need to stop giving your energy to situations where, oh, is this going to freeze up? I'm going to keep on going. Hopefully this will last. You want to focus on spirit. You want to focus on what matters to you. You want to be optimistic and full of faith and excited about life, but there's some things that are really worrying you and taking your energy away from this. Or you may be worried that this is a false hope and that this may not happen or come true. I'm getting wishing on a star, hoping and wishing for something, but you're worried it's not going to happen. Or you're worried that you're putting your faith in something that may just be an illusion. But the good message of this card, which is the Nine of Swords I'm looking at, is that most likely what you worry about is nothing compared to what your imagination does to it. This is reminding me of the confusion of the moon, of not knowing whether to trust your intuition or not, or whether your intuition is really giving you correct answers at this time. There may be a lot of old insecurities, fears, or things from the past cropping up that are interfering with your ability to have faith. But if you just focus on this card, since it is the major arcana out of those two, this is the most important thing. So between your two outcomes, your best possible outcome is to let go and release anything that holds you back and to focus on what truly matters to you. So hopefully that made sense. Okay. I wish you guys all the best. Have a wonderful September. I really admire you guys a lot. A lot of my closest friends throughout my life have always been Aries people. Aries, Cancer, Pisces, and Sag. So, I love you. Take care. I wish you all the best. See you soon. Hello, everyone. This is just a little end note for you to let you know that as well as being an intuitive, I'm also an artist, and I've just been commissioned to make 30 wind spirits that are sculptures that hang from the ceiling. And so I need to get that done in order to be able to pay my bills and feed my kid and all of that wonderful stuff. So I'm just letting you know I'm putting out all of your general readings for September out all at once, and then I'm going to be finishing this commission and then hopefully getting your bonus readings out by next week at the latest. The good thing about that is that you'll probably be able to see my sculptures behind me when you do get your bonus readings. See if you like my art at all. Also, I wanted some feedback about the bonus videos. I do know that there are people who watch those. I would love to get some feedback on whether or not I should even be including health at the end there. I know that people are interested in the love and relationships and in the career and money. I'm just wondering if doing the health reading at the end is really necessary, or if people are watching those, or if they help in any way. If people are more interested in career and money and relationships, I would rather focus on those two things for you. So if anyone's brave enough to mention to me whether or not you actually watch the health sections, whether they're valuable to you, whether I should cut them out altogether and just focus on the other two. So I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Oh, I also wanted to say that I realize these are still late. Um, Living in such a rural area, it's actually hard. Jobs are hard to come by here, and so I do a lot of odd jobs and things on the side in order to pay my bills, as well as doing readings and art. But I am going to be putting an option down below in the description box in case there's anybody out there that would like to donate to my channel at all. I realize it's kind of early to be asking for that at this point, but it would help me out quite a bit if you have it to give, and if these benefit you in any way and you appreciate these readings. Even if it was $5, I could use anything at this point. Also, I'm also an astrologer, and I have been one for professionally for at least 18 years now. I would like to get to a point with prosperity where I can take extra time out in order to possibly put some free courses on this channel for astrology, numerology, many other things. I actually read palms. I read astrology charts of all different kinds. I read tarot cards, and I also read tea leaves. So if there's anything about those things that you would like to know about, I've noticed that on YouTube there's not a whole lot available on things like Lilith in your chart, or Eros and Psyche, or any of the asteroids. So if there is anyone out there that would like to see videos about those concepts, donating to the channel would really help me with that. It would give me enough time and space to be able to sit down and knock them out instead of scrambling around on the side trying to come up with enough. So thank you for patiently listening to me ramble, and I will see you soon with your bonus readings. For now, hopefully this will suffice. And next time I see you, you'll see some wind spirits. Okay, take care. I love you guys. Bye.